I've got a little bonus video for you today because I got the craziest tip about a Canadian connection to those El Salvador mass deportation planes. And even with everything going on with the election and stuff, this felt too important to ignore. So I dug into it and let me tell you what I learned. I'm sure you have all heard about the mass deportations going on in the United States, where Trump claims he's deporting members of a Venezuelan gang to El Salvador. But we're increasingly hearing reports of innocent people with no affiliation to the gang being deported. And both the Trump administration and El Salvador's president are refusing to send them home. Most Canadians understandably have been watching this whole thing in horror. But it turns out that someone with significant ties to Canada is a top dog at the company behind the planes that did those El Salvador deportations. Meet Christopher Jamross. He is a board director at Canada's largest museum, the Royal Ontario Museum, also called the ROM. He's also a mentor to the students at the Schulich School of Business out of York University. And he co-chaired the Canada 150 Advisory Committee to oversee preparations to celebrate the country's 150th birthday. Now, when Jamross isn't busy engaging in what the ROM described as his lifelong advocacy of, quote, education and, quote, promoting diversity and inclusion, he's also listed as an executive chairman on the Global X website. Now, what's Global X or Global Crossing, you might ask? Yeah, it's a subcontractor working with ICE, whose planes were used to remove 238 foreign nationals alleged to belong to a Venezuelan gang to El Salvador. Yeah. Now that's a pretty gnarly thing for a person to be in any way associated with. So I wanted more details because when you click on his name on the Global X website, it just lists his bio, which states that Jamross is the, quote, executive chairman of the board and CEO of Roadrunner Freight. That is awkwardly worded, so I went to the Roadrunner Freight website. And his bio there cleared things up. It states that Jamross is, quote, executive chairman of the board of Global Crossing Airline Group, Inc., a full-service passenger and cargo airline headquartered in Miami, Florida. In 2021, he led the transformative pre-certification investment that enabled the formal launch of the airline's operations, end quote. Wow, Christopher, seems like you're a very big deal at Global Crossings. Congratulations. So, Canada, it looks like someone who has strong ties to our country, who mentors business students at a Canadian university, who helped oversee preparations for our country's 150th anniversary, and who is a board director at Canada's largest museum, is also a top dog at the company that was subcontracted for the flights carrying migrants to El Salvador, some of whom we now know were innocent. I mean, the logo's literally on the side of this plane in the photo associated with this Reuters article. Anyways, I reached out to both the ROM and Global X for comment on this story, and I have followed up on both requests. Global X has not responded to my email, and the ROM is hoping to get back to me by the end of the week. I'll keep you posted on both fronts, but until then, what do you think of all this?